Today's featured presenter is Jason Phillips. Jason Phillips is responsible for implementing Syncron's pricing solutions for the company's customer base, working in global and complex environments. Jason has implemented solutions around the world, including North America, Japan, Jordan, and Europe. Prior to joining Syncron, Jason was a product manager and a designer for PTC, which was previously Servigistics. He received his master's degree in industrial engineering from Georgia Tech in 2010. Now, without further ado, and because you know a little bit about our fabulous presenter, I'm going to turn over the presentation to Jason. Jason, thank you so very much. On behalf of myself at Professional Pricing Society, and thank you to Syncron, we hope that you have a fabulous presentation. Everyone, Jason Phillips.
Thanks for the introduction, Megan. And I'd also like to thank the Pricing Professional Society for the opportunity to speak on this forum today. I remember attending my first PPS conference almost 6 years ago now, and I've definitely grown with the wealth of knowledge that the Society disseminates. Really looking forward to the next PPS conference in October. Okay, so welcome everyone, and thank you for joining today's session. I'm confident that you'll find this interesting and valuable. Today, we're going to cover a topic which has become extremely relevant, and especially given the state of the durable goods market. In today's session, we'll focus on 4 objectives. First, we'll explore how the contracting durable goods market is causing pain for manufacturers across the world. And then we'll discuss how manufacturers are realizing that their post-sales service businesses are turning out to be an incredible source of margin and revenue improvements. Next, we'll uncover the main reasons why traditional status quo type service parts pricing strategies are completely missing significant financial opportunities. Following that, we'll dig into a few case studies which illustrates how major companies are driving service revenue up by as much as 5% and gross profits up by over 7%, utilizing advanced pricing optimization techniques for service parts pricing. Finally, we'll wrap up with a quick Q&A session. How's the durable goods market looking today? If you've kept an eye on the news related to the orders for durable goods, you'll easily see that the market is heading in the wrong direction. Orders for durable goods are declining, which is causing the market to contract. This market contraction is delivering a lethal combination of punishing blows to the financial performance of manufacturers around the world, and it's wreaking havoc to the global economy. The declining demand for durable goods captured in headlines in 2015, and the downward trend is continuing this year. Orders for manufactured durable goods plummeted by 4.0% in June after falling 2.8% in May and 2.8% in February. These gloomy market conditions have manufacturers searching high and low for new sources of revenue and profit margins. A growing group of smart and innovative companies like Volvo, Hitachi, Morbark, Fidel, and others are actually tapping into their post-sales service business for margin and revenue relief. More specifically, they're trying to optimize their prices for their service parts to deliver significant improvement in their financial performance. So, a long list of manufacturers are feeling the pinch imposed by the decline in durable goods orders right now. Here's a few examples to illustrate how manufacturers have publicly explained how the contracting markets will impact their financials. In 2016, Boeing revealed their plans to deliver fewer commercial jets this year than last year, sending its stock down by the most in more than 14 years and triggering a sell-off in the aerospace shares. Boeing said it will hand over 740 to 745 commercial aircrafts in 2016, which is further down from their 762 which they delivered last year. Chief Executive Dennis Muilenburg said Boeing is reducing its production rates of its most profitable products to ensure that it's in sync with demands for its jets. Similarly, Caterpillar is declining with its demand in mining and oil drilling, and this will cause its 2016 revenue to fall by about 10%. Even ABB's orders intake was about 12% down in 2015 and is expected to drop further in 2016. These are a few reasons why smart manufacturers across the world have now turned their focus to post-sales service for growth and improved profitability. In doing so, these manufacturers are now viewing service parts pricing optimization as a silver lining in a declining market. Therefore, service parts pricing is becoming the new profit lever. Now, while the Gartner Group suggests that price optimization can increase margin by about 50 basis points and revenue by as much as 4%, companies using our service parts pricing solution drive service parts revenue by as much as even 5% and gross profits as much as 7%. So think about how improvements like this would impact your business. More importantly, think about how improvements like this could help you earn more without even affecting other areas of your business. Probably asking the next question, well, how do I achieve these growth targets? And one of the critical success factors is a proper planning session across various departments. Let's consider the following scenario. We start with the actuals from the previous year and decide what target for the next year should be. What are we going to achieve by getting to this target, and how are we going to get to this target? Well, the first thing we need to do is attract new customers. How do you attract new customers? You do that through marketing and sales. What else can we do? We could try to increase the volume of sales to existing customers. Well, how do you do that? Through offering various promotions and discounts and rebates. That still doesn't get us all the way. So what else do we need to change? We could increase the price through annual price reviews. And with that, looks like we've hit our targets. So success. If only it were that simple. We forgot that margin leakage is also going to occur. So from your price, rebates and unrealized prices are going to take a chunk out of your newly modified price book. So we just dropped below the target with that. Oh, and by the way, your product mix, if it's not correct, then that's also going to take away from your volume. So that's another chunk gone. Then your customers, if they're not satisfied, that's going to take another chunk away from your margins. And finally, looks like costs need to be considered as well. So the increase in costs and change in customer satisfaction, supplier satisfaction actually reduces your actuals as well, so causing a missed target. So now we've completely missed our 2016 target, and but that's not all the problems that you're going to face. You're also going to face changing market conditions, competitor responses and actions to changes in our price, and not to mention a whole load of data complexity. So by now you figured out that we need a specific solution to solve these problems. So for starters, we need tools to create comprehensive value-driven segmentation strategies where we can figure out what the real factors driving prices are. We need competitor insight so that we can react to our competitors' changes in a rational manner. We need a tool that can churn through high volumes of data and streamline it. We need a better price management solution to manage our rebates and discount programs better. We'll also need better analytical insights to help us improve our product mix. We need a tool that can capture feedback for our prices and deliver and drive us to take better action. And we'll need a tool to give us better cost visibility. A combination of tools or a single solution that might combine all these tools can help us get back to our 2016 targets and plug those margin leaks. The fastest and most effective way for a company to realize its maximum profit is to get its pricing right. The right price can boost profit faster, and it increases your volume as well. The wrong price, on the other hand, can shrink it just as quickly. Many otherwise toughened managers typically shy away from initiatives to improve price, and this is because they're worried that they'll alienate or lose their customers. The result of this is the result of not managing your price performance, however, is far more damaging. Getting the price right is one of the most fundamental and important management functions. It should be a manager's first responsibility, and it's a nuts and bolts kind of a job that determines the dollar and cents performance of a company. So now let's compare, for example, the profit implications of a 1% volume and a 1% increase in price. For a company with average economics, improving unit volume by 1% yields a 3% in operating profit, assuming no decrease in price, of course. But as this exhibit shows, a 1% improvement in price, assuming no loss in volume, increases operating performance by about 10%. So improvements in price typically have 2 to 3 or even 4 times the effect of profitability as proportionate increases in volume. Such extreme profit leakage, pricing is one of the functions that a company can always improve. In another case study, a particular consumer durable products company increased its profitable dollars by at least 30% with a mere 2.5% improvement in average prices. An industrial equipment manufacturer boosted its operating profits by about 35%, carefully managing price levels up by a modest 3%. According to our research, a wide variety of businesses, including those in the consumer packaged goods and energy and banking and financial services, have actually achieved comparable results. So even if a company's managers make the right pricing decisions 90% of the time, it's worthwhile to try for 92% because the payoff is that high. So what are the challenges if you decide to maintain status quo with your pricing and stay in the spreadsheet world? The market prices aren't understood or incorporated into your pricing strategies, for one. Your basic cost plus pricing will get overused. There's a lack of visibility due to financial impact of price changes. There's little to no coordination or visibility between organizational levels. Manual workflows will limit the effectiveness of price changes. Infrequent price changes impact the ability to capitalize on market opportunities. And finally, manual processes simply lack the scalability required in dynamic markets, period. So what are the pricing challenges that are out there, and what are their improvement opportunities? Pricing issues are seldom simple or isolated. Usually they are diverse, intricate, and linked to many aspects of a business. But while most managers have to handle a bulk of pricing issues, many overlook the key aspects of this most basic management principle and discipline, which is transfer price management. Without realizing it, many managers are actually leaving significant amounts of money on the table and reducing their potential profits. And this is on the transactional level, the point at which the product meets a consumer. Most companies use invoice pricing as a reporting measure, but the differences between invoice and actual transaction price can mean significant reductions to the bottom line profit. Some companies actually have identified this problem and are handling it by applying two basic concepts: the pocket price waterfall and the pocket price band. Reduced to their essentials, these concepts actually show companies where their product prices erode between invoice price and actual transaction price, and they help companies capture untapped opportunities at that level. So competent senior managers often fail to focus on these pocket prices because their accounting systems don't collect many of the invoice discounts on a customer transaction basis. For example, payment terms, discounts, when all get buried in the interest expense accounts, corporate advertising, including company-wide promotions and advertising line items, and the company-specific freight gets lumped in with other business transportation expenses. So since these items are collected and accounted for on a company-wide basis, it's difficult for most managers to think about them, let alone tally them, on a customer-by-customer or transaction-by-transaction basis. Now that we've got here, ask yourselves the question, where are you on the pricing maturity curve? So are you still in spreadsheets using cost plus and trying to maintain the status quo? Are you watching your competition and trying to react to changes in their prices, and are you constantly in firefighting mode? Are you thinking a little more savvy, and are you starting to do some price differentiation and scenario analysis, or have you reached that advanced point where you can do advanced-based pricing through price optimization solutions built specifically for your business? When you climb this ladder, you'll start to realize 4 to 8% worth of margin improvements, and overall you'll get 3 to 5% overall revenue improvements. Next, let's dive into some actual case studies of companies and how they're reaping the benefits of different pricing solutions, and how they're thinking about their pricing processes. Volvo Construction Equipment is a great case. They've been using Syncron's price management solution for the last 10 years now. So let's take a look at what challenges they faced in their operations and the results of implementing a software solution specific to spare parts price management. Volvo had close to 250,000 unique parts across 1,300 sales locations. They also had 500 price lists to manage across almost 300 dealers and close to 150 warehouses, 17 different currencies, 40 different information systems, 5 million order lines, and 20,000 new parts annually. So you can start to imagine how complex their operations really are. The massive scale and complexity had originally caused a lack of visibility and lack of coordination, duplicate effort, and creating a highly reactive culture for pricing for Volvo. Now, after they rethought their position and implemented Syncron's price management solution, life got a lot easier for them. Now they have a single global process that respects regional and local dynamics. They have automatic updates for interconnected price lists. They have improved customer satisfaction for consistent prices. They have increased profitability for service parts sales. And finally, they're witnessing a dramatic productivity increase, and they've gained complete visibility for each price adjustment to all of its stakeholders. So another case that we'll discuss over here is Hitachi Construction Machinery. They've also been using Syncron's value-based pricing capabilities for over the last 6 to 7 years, and they've been taking their profit margins up through value-based pricing. So the challenges that Hitachi faced are also similar to Volvo. In Hitachi's case, they had over 1 million unique parts on their price list. They needed to log into multiple systems to collect necessary information to price a part. They had an exceeding number of new parts that had to be priced quickly with increased demand of new machine release. They also had to manage an overwhelming number of price complaints due to human error and in their manual price revision process. The price revision simulation was taking just too long, and it was done via Excel and Access. After implementing Syncron's price management solution, Hitachi now has a single solution for one global parts pricing process. They have seamless integration into their ERP systems. They have one single screen to price all parts applying to appropriate price strategy in a stepwise fashion. They have an easy price revision simulation process, although they have multiple scenarios where different pricing policies have to be analyzed. They're experiencing a significant reduction in price complaints due to more accurate pricing with less manual intervention. So, as you can see, more and more manufacturers across the globe are starting to optimize their prices, especially on the spare parts business, to unlock dramatic improvements in revenues and their margins. So, in summary, so what we've just talked about is the orders for durable goods continues to decline, and it's creating performance challenges for manufacturers around the world. Innovative companies are turning their post-sales service business as a source for new revenue margins. Service parts pricing has become the new profit lever. Leading companies are achieving significant improvements in their revenue and gross margins by optimizing the prices of their service parts. Simply maintaining your status quo pricing strategies will result in your pricing strategies falling short in while you try to improve your financial performance. So what you finally need is pricing technology specifically designed for spare parts pricing if you want to achieve success. So At this point, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about Syncron and what we do. Syncron is a system and consultancy service that is strongly specialized in aftermarket services. We help customers succeed in the aftermarket by providing services for price management as well as inventory management, coupled with strong analytics solutions. And we've been focused on this for the last 15 years. So, are you ready to actually now say goodbye to your pricing spreadsheets and hello to your profit margins that you really deserve? All right, thank you. And I'll hand it over for questions now.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you so very much. We really enjoyed your pricing webinar. Again, Jason's contact information is now listed on the screen. And if you have any additional questions pertaining to the content that was shared throughout today's pricing webinar, excuse me, please do not hesitate to contact Mr. Jason Phillips. So we have funneled in a few questions, and I'd like to get to them. But before we do, I want to remind all of the attendees that all copies of today's presentation, the slides, will be delivered to your inbox within the next 48 hours. Also, to keep you abreast of all current pricing information, practices, and industry updates as far as technology and education, the Professional Pricing Society conducts pricing webinars on a regular basis. We actually have another pricing webinar scheduled for next month, so always check back with us either on our social media platform for the upcoming date or on our main website, pricingsociety.com. We also have an upcoming conference this fall, and it's never too early to begin planning. The Professional Pricing Society will be hosting our annual fall workshops and conference in Las Vegas this October. Please visit pricingsociety.com for more information. Now, we have several questions that came in throughout the presentation from attendees, and I'd like to ask Jason, our expert, and we'll check out these answers now. So, our first question comes in, and it is, what department do you typically see engaging in pricing activity?
That's actually a good question. I've seen a lot of sophisticated pricing projects where spare parts pricing teams coordinate with different departments like marketing, sales, and engineering to set accurate and effective prices. When you want to advance yourself in value-based pricing, continuous talks with your engineering department to understand what value drivers are out there is critical. So getting that communication going is really important.
Next question is, how often do you see spare parts manufacturers revamp their price books or revisit their price books?
So when it comes to redoing price books, it's more on a case-by-case basis, and it depends on what you're selling. But typically in the durable goods or even spare parts pricing world, you typically see annual revisions, sometimes semi-annual revisions, and in some cases there's quarterly revisions with minor updates in between.
Okay, thank you. And our last question would be essentially, how long does a pricing project typically take?
Again, that depends on the level of complexity of a pricing project. For example, the number of ERP systems that you have to integrate to, the number of price lists that you want to generate, and the complexity level of what pricing strategies you want to invoke. But typically, you'll be looking at projects lengths of between 6 months to a year, and sometimes less than that for smaller, less complex organizations.
I think we may have one more question. I'm checking now.
Sure.
Okay, our last and final question is how to deal with other spare parts manufacturers offering the same or similar spare parts. We've been hardly affected by the Chinese manufacturers. Excuse me. We've been hardly affected by the Chinese manufacturers. I believe I read that question correctly.
Okay, so in a scenario where you're facing competition threats, you have to look towards strategies where you're taking competitor average list prices and either trying to mark up by, let's say, a certain factor or a percentage. Again, you need to, in order to execute any sort of strategy when it comes to competitive pricing, you need to have good competitive source information of the prices. A lot of companies use web scraping technologies. A lot of companies go in for, they actually contract third-party pricing aggregators to get these prices in through the door. But once you have these kind of price feeds, then it's important to try to get within a certain quartile range of the pricing average for these competitors. And that's how you deal with pricing in a highly competitive market.
Okay, thank you so very much, Jason. I believe those are all the questions that we have for this afternoon. And I want to thank all of our attendees for spending time with us today on today's pricing webinar. Thank you again to Jason Phillip from Syncron. If you all have any additional questions for our featured pricing expert, please do not hesitate to contact Jason directly. His contact information is listed on the last screen within our pricing webinar. As it is the close of today's pricing webinar, we just have a few final announcements. You'll notice that there will be a 3-question survey. It's pretty short. If you don't mind taking about 15 seconds to complete it, it will provide valuable feedback to PPS and our featured presenters. If you'd like more information, again, about anything that we featured today or pricing webinars in general, you can email Pricing Society directly or visit our website. Again, visit our website for any information, particularly our featured pricing webinars and our upcoming conferences. Until next time, we thank you, and you all have a great afternoon.